Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a little playing with makeup video today using makeup that I love but have forgotten about. So if you're interested in seeing me do a full face using forgotten loves, then just keep on watching. The other day I was just filming those mini reviews for the month of May, and that gives me such a great opportunity to go back and kind of get back into that mind space that I was in at that time and take a look at and play with some makeup that I played with back then and that I was loving. So anyway, while I was doing that, it was like this reminder that I have all this great makeup, and I'm usually so busy trying out new makeup that I have a lot of forgotten loves. So I thought we would do a fun video today where I just kind of go through my collection and do the, oh, I love this. I'm sure we've all done that. So let me just go ahead and get started here. I have a primer that is really a moisturizer, but I've always used it as primer. I really love this. I think it was limited edition when it first came out. Now it's part of the permanent collection, I believe. But this is the Tom Ford Radiant Moisture Soufflé. I really love this. It has a really rich, lovely texture, and it has just a hint of like a gold sheen in there. So if you have dry skin like I do, this is a wonderful starting point for your makeup application. So I just use my fingers, I just smooth it all over my face, and I already have like my basic skincare down. So I do already have a daytime moisturizer on, but again, for me with extremely dry skin, it never really hurts to put another layer of moisture on. So this feels great for me. If you are more, like on the normal end of the spectrum, you probably don't need a separate moisturizer before you put something like this on. But for me, I love the double layer. This next product is definitely one that I love. And again, because I'm always kind of trying out different things, or as you guys know, like if one of my favorite products is discontinued, I like run out and buy anything that I think may imitate it, give those all a shot, try and figure out like what I like. Anyway, I feel like I've been doing that a lot with foundation this past year. So this poor guy kind of fell towards the back of my drawer. This is the Chanel Sublimage Le Teint, and I have it in the shade in the shade 20 beige. And that's pretty much my shade across all of the Chanel foundations. It's always like 20 or 02 or like the second one up. And this is the one that comes in the jar. And I have used, a good amount of it. Yes, this I remember has a pretty strong fragrance. It definitely smells perfumed. I do remember it kind of like lingering for a little while, but it does eventually dissipate. And I'm going to use my Sonia G Base 1 brush to blend this in. How excited are you guys for the new Sonia G brushes? I know I am. I'm just waiting. I think they're coming out either the 20th or the 29th of November. She mentioned it on her Instagram. I am just chomping at the bit for a chance to try them out. I can't wait. So this foundation has a light medium coverage. It's definitely a bit buildable. I want to say to medium. It's not very full coverage at all though. I do remember that you guys can see, like the skin around my eyes still looks a bit discolored compared to the rest of my face. But you can build this up like I just mentioned, probably to like a medium. And the finish on this, I want to say, is very skin-like. It's not matte, but it's not really dewy at all. Any sort of dewiness you see is definitely from this Radiant Moisture Soufflé. This definitely has a much more kind of like natural, smooth, I don't want to go so far as to say velvet. It's just very skin-like. It's a very skin-like finish. I'm just going to add a little bit more around my eye area here. All right, so there is the foundation on. Let's move on to concealer. And this is another one that I really love, and I just haven't used it. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer, and I have it in the shade 2N. It's this guy. It has like the wand applicator. And even though I got a neutral color, the 2N for neutral, this is definitely more on the peachy side, if you guys can see that. So it actually works for me. It kind of gives me a nice brightening effect, but I definitely would not call this neutral. I'm going to use my Trish McEvoy number 55 brush and just blend that in. It has really nice coverage, doesn't sink into my fine lines, doesn't make my eye area look dry or anything. It is a really, really great concealer, and I do like the color match for me. Next, we've got powder, and this is actually a powder I've been talking a lot about lately, but I haven't been using it a lot because, again, I have a lot of powders to play with. But this is the Viseart Seamless Setting Powder. I love this powder for my under eye. It does such a good job blurring. It completely mattifies under my eye, which on most days I prefer to anything kind of radiant. I've talked about this before. Generally I don't like a glowy under eye. I just feel like it makes me look sweaty. I actually think it looks really great on camera, but I don't think it looks that great in real life. At least not for me. That's your thing. More power to you. Just not really my thing. So I like this for under eye, but I'm not the biggest fan of this all over my face unless I'm going for a really kind of like matte look. So anyway, I'm going to take my Wang airbrush and just a little bit, and I'm just going to pat that underneath my eye and on top on my lid. And then for like an all over setting powder, I have the Cover FX Translucent Light Perfect Setting Powder. It's the guy that comes in this tub. I think maybe I mentioned it. I don't know if it actually made it to any of my favorites. I'm going to use my Shiseido #1 face brush, or powder brush, I think they call it, and just pick up some and swipe. This powder has a really nice, light, kind of airy quality. It's really quite lovely. Does a great job setting. It's not too heavy. All right, next up I've got bronzer. This, I think, was the very first bronzer I ever purchased. Not this exact one, but this brand, this line. This is the Giorgio Armani Sun Fabric, and I have it in the shade 100. They even changed the formula in between there. So I think I had originally purchased like a #2. It had like a little bit of a sheen to it. And now in the current line, I use 100. This is a fantastic neutral colored bronzer. It is just right for my skin tone. So I'm going to go in with the Sonia G Sculpt One brush. And this formula is great too. It's not overly powdery. It's like a demi matte. It's not like a totally flat kind of powder. It's really beautiful. And it's very richly pigmented. You know, I didn't pick up a lot of powder, but it really goes a long way. It blends beautifully. Just love it. So that's the Armani Sun Fabric in 100. And then for blush. So this blush is absolutely amazing. This is probably my favorite thing in this whole palette. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a Palette, the Beauty Glow. And it's this blush in here that I just love. Do you see how it's like this warm, spicy color, and it has like a little bit of a sheen in there? It's so pretty. So I've got my Chikuhodo cheek brush. I'm gonna just tap it in here. It is very pigmented, and it is probably a little bit deep for my skin tone, but I don't care. I just love it. And it blends really nicely into bronzer because it is so warm. So there is the blush, definitely on the darker side of what I can pull off. But let's move over into highlight. So I have two highlights here. I have a cream and a powder. So this cream highlight I loved when I first got it and haven't used it lately, thought I would pull it out. But this is the Hourglass Vanish Flash Highlighting Stick. I think that's the full name. This is the color Champagne Flash. And one of the things that I love about this formula is that you can use it over powder very easily. So I usually just kind of run my finger over it, and then I'll tap it over the area where I want to apply. Isn't that pretty? And when it comes to cream products, I have the awful habit of not using them simply because I went ahead and just powdered, and I'm like, crap, I forgot to use my cream product. So a cream product that can be used over powder is like my best friend. So that is the Hourglass, I think, Vanish Flash Highlighting Stick is the full name, in the color Champagne Flash. And next I've got a highlighter that I love. I was talking about it a lot, and then, you know, it's limited edition, so I kind of stopped talking about it, but I was just on the Saks site and it's still there. And if you can get your hands on this highlight, I'm telling you, you are not going to regret it. But this is the Gucci limited edition illuminating powder in number 20 Sandstone. It has that butterfly there. I've been using just this portion of it in hopes to keep the butterfly, but I think I have to let it go. I have to let go of the butterfly. So I've got my Sonia G Sculpt 2 brush here. I'm going to just go right over the butterfly. I'm just going to apply some right on top of the cream highlight just so we can get a really nice glow going. Look at that wet shine. It's really beautiful. I don't know what's going on with the Gucci beauty line. I feel like they were gonna redo it. They were gonna get rid of it. They were gonna like relaunch the whole thing. I don't know what's going on. If any of you guys know what is going on with Gucci Beauty, let us know down below in the comments section. I would love to hear any inside scoop on that because I just can't figure it out. All right, this next product is for my eyebrows. This is the Sisley 3-in-1 Brow Architect, and I have it in the darkest color, Brun, and it's like the darkest, darkest, darkest brown you could ever find. It's pretty much black, and it's a very soft pencil, so you really have to be in the mood for a dark, bold brow. So I haven't really used this during the warmer months. In the summertime, I like, you know, a little bit of a lighter brow. I was kind of just depending on my Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, but this is great now that we're well into the cooler, colder months here. So I'm gonna whip this guy back out. All right, my eyebrows are done, so let's move into eyeshadow. Now, the palette that I picked is not that old, but I do think it's forgotten already. I feel like no one's talking about it already, and this is one that I do occasionally pull out if I need like a filler color. This is the Natasha Denona Safari palette. This is her all matte palette. I think this got very mixed reviews, but I really like this palette. It works very well for me, so I thought I would pull it out. I'm just gonna do a basic look. I'm gonna start with the Aya color here. It's a nice like all over lid color for me, and I'm gonna use my Sephora number 38 brush, and I'm just brushing that all over. I'm going to take the Chantecaille Eye Definer brush, and I'm going to go into Amhara, which is this peachy kind of deep salmon color, and just start to warm up my eye here. And I'm doing a warm look, obviously. I feel like that Charlotte Tilbury blush is forcing me into the warm arena. I'm just going to take this same brush and go into Tamarind and blend a little bit of that Amhara shade here on the middle portion of my lid. I'm also taking this Tamarind shade and blending this top edge out. And then I've got my Chikuhodo GSN 9 brush. I'm going to go into Malia here. It's like a very kind of brightening peach shade. Place this on the inner portion of my lid just to kind of brighten that up a little bit. It's not going to do too much on my skin tone, but just a little. And then blend that into the Tamarind. Use a bit of it under my brow. Then I'm going to take this Chantecaille eyeliner brush. I'm going to go into Shea, which is the darkest matte brown color here, and just line my eyes with that. All right, so that's it for the eyeshadow palette. I'm going to move on to mascara. I pulled back out the Monsieur Big waterproof mascara. I was using this for a little bit, and then, I don't know, I just kind of moved on from it. It's still good. It's not that old, so I thought that this would be a good choice. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes with my Surratt eyelash curler. And for this mascara especially, I like to kind of wipe off the excess. This is like a deluxe sample size, by the way, but it's a very gooey mascara, so it's a necessity to kind of wipe the brush off. All right, mascara's done, and now let's move on to the lips. I have these Armani Lip Maestros, I think they're called. I have color 200 and 202. And these, I think, have ended up in my favorites several times. And I think I just mentioned these in my Nordstrom anniversary sale haul because they had like a little 3-pack. Anyway, I love these, and I don't feel like I've used them lately. I think I like the lighter one more. So I'm going to use the 202 color, and I've dug up one of my like all-time favorite lip pencils that I've totally forgotten about, but this is the Kevyn Aucoin Flesh Tone Lip Pencil. I believe the shade is medium. This is one of the best nude color lip liners ever. It's very, very similar to Iconic Nude. I think Iconic Nude is a little bit cooler than this. This just has a little bit more warmth in there. It's just beautiful. All right, and now for the Lip Maestro. My lips are so dry today. These Lip Maestros have the most amazing texture. They're like moussey, they're kind of velvety. They don't set completely down, but they do kind of start to set down. And they feel like lighter and lighter as they set down. They're amazing. And last but not least, I'm going to use the Dior Air Flash Primer and Setting Spray, Long Lasting Airbrush Radiance. Love this setting spray. I'm not generally one that uses setting spray unless I feel like I need my makeup to stay on and I'm going to be like outside all day or, you know, by the pool or something. But this just leaves your skin looking so airbrushed and I just love it. So I hope you enjoyed this Playing with Makeup Forgotten Loves video. Please let me know if you have any comments down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video.